Just briefly, Ciarán, looking ahead to the All Ireland semi-final weekend. Where do you see Limerick at the moment, and where do you see what sort of vibes are coming out at the moment? And with the 4-week gap, do you think the wheels will be, not to say that the wheels aren't firmly on the tracks, but do you think they'll be even more of a dangerous animal come All Ireland semi-final time now, given the gap that they've had to maybe regroup and get things back together?
Oh, without a doubt, Shane. I suppose the few extra weeks will suit them, and they're in an All Ireland semi-final, and I suppose from the start of the championship to now, I suppose as a team and what we're accustomed to seeing for the last 5 years, if you like, they're probably only going 60 to 70%. So if that in itself can be cranked up another 20%, then they'll take serious beating. But that's all if. And I suppose when you look at Galway, I think Henry, since he went to Galway, I think he probably has them at their best now. And I think Galway are absolutely primed for this particular match. And I think also watch them against Tipperary, irrespective, Tipperary hurling off the cuff and falling into the trap. I think Galway probably set up against Tipperary as a little kind of warm-up for what they'll probably do when they face Limerick. So Limerick and Galway has the potential of being a serious battle, physical battle. Because Galway, to be fair, they're the one team that you would have picked during the last 5 or 6 years physically that are capable of pushing on to Limerick. So it's going to be a huge encounter. Hard to call it, Shane, being honest with you. I would have called this a lot easier in the last 4 years. And I'm judging what I'm seeing this year. That's what I'm basing my facts on. And I think Galway are actually sitting pretty for a small bit of assassination unless Limerick improve and get back to a few little players. Like, if Keane Lynch is back and can come to the party fully, which is going to be a huge ask. It's going to be a massive ask. It isn't like turning on the switch or turning on the tap. He'll have to ease his way into. So there's a lot of factors to Shane, Mike.
Yeah, just on that, JJ, you obviously know Henry very well from hurling with him all his career, all your own career as well. Have you seen anything different in Galway? Like, realistically, Galway probably should have won the Leinster final, bar a moment of madness at the end.
Yeah.
Missed a lot of chances the other night, but were by far the better team. They've been really, really competitive with Limerick in championship. Well, going back to 18, 20 and even 22 as well. Do you think they're primed for, a really big show in the All-Ireland semi-final?
I think you have to bring it really more than because Limerick are going to blow them out of the water. I think they've shown serious kind of strides. I was very interested. I was apprehensive now for Henry going into that Tipperary match because I thought Tip might bring it. I didn't know what reaction Galway had after the Leinster final defeat, because something like that now you can feel very sorry for yourself. We were robbed. We shouldn't have went in. We should have cleared the ball. All ifs and buts, but it's gone to our bet. I'd say they parked that very, very quickly and they moved on, which probably Henry would be looking towards. He was very positive after the Leinster final, actually, to be fair to him, but he was looking forward to this game against Tipperary. But they were very confident what they'd done. They knew what to do against Tip. They couldn't concede goals. They were well on top in the full back line there as well. They got Cottle Mannion on a load of space, and Cottle Mannion just pulled the strings. He was absolutely brilliant on the day, and how Tipperary didn't lay a glove on him at all. He was just orchestrating everything. They were bypassing Tipperary's half back line as well, and they were pinging a lovely ball into Conor Whelan, Kevin Cooney as well. He's a big asset for him, big find for him this year as well. I think he's taken a bit of pressure off Conor Whelan as well, because he has the strength to win his own ball. Even the last 10 minutes in the Leinster final, he had Tommy Welsh in a lot of bother. Hugh Lawler went over on him, and he actually got a block down on him. Kevin got a shot away, but he got a block on him. And then if that had went over the bar, Kenny Buckley's goal, it would only been a draw, would have made no difference then, the kind of way. So he's been a big foil. I think that's why Conor Whelan is coming to the party a bit more. Last couple of years, Conor Whelan had to fight 2 or 3 defenders, win the ball himself, and take on the whole full back line, whoever he's playing. But now Kevin's physical presence up there, left-handed hurlers are the same as Conor. He can win his own ball. He can show for the ball as well. So it gives the opposition full back line a bit more headache, so you're not kind of just focused on Conor Whelan himself. But yeah, I think, look, Henry, being realistic, as any inter-county manager is, you're going to have to beat Limerick along the way to win the All-Ireland final. It makes a difference. If you play in the semi-final or an All-Ireland final, you have that in your head. You have to beat them. So he'll have a plan in place. He's probably thinking about Limerick since last year's semi-final, to be honest with you. They can see what they did well last year. And I agree with you on, Limerick are not at the peak of what they were last year. But in saying that, I'll double down that. So they're a dangerous thing. They're still playing not to their best of their ability, but they're still winning. And if they can, that 10-15%, I think everyone else is at their level at the moment, but they go up 10-15%. I don't think any other team can live with them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So it'll be a lot to say if Limerick come back. I'd love to see if Ciarán Lynch is back right again. I'd love to see him throw him in Peter Casey's kind of role, 15, and give the opposition a bit more of a headache. If at 11, you can probably plan for him, to be fair. But at 15, bring him out the field. You have Gillane and Flanagan inside, and he'd be on the corner back. There wouldn't be comfort marking Ciarán Lynch, and Ciarán would bring him out into spaces there where he wouldn't be. I think that could be a good option for John going forward if Ciarán is right too, because I think the half hurling were very good the last day as well, to be fair. So you couldn't really argue with the fact that they'd have to start as well, to be fair, you know. So I think Henry will have a lot of headaches to do. He has to get his matchups 100% right. I thought he will have to dominate in the half back in there as well. So he will have a plan in place. I think Kieran's right. What the kind of position set up that they did against Tipperary, you always have to kind of use that before the game, before you go and perfect it, if you get me. So they'll have to perfect it against Limerick if they're going to beat them. But again, physically, they'll stand up to him. It's just that they can't miss the chances that they missed against Tipperary. They left Tipperary in that game. When John McGrath got that goal, I thought, right, geez, it's going to be a Leinster final job again. And they could have been terrible at that brush there as well. But they've seen it out, but they shouldn't have been in that situation. So again, with Henry, it's good stick to beat him with, that we have to finish them chances. But with Galway going back to him, Brian Concannon came on in Leinster final. He hurled well. He started the quarter final. He was poor. Conor Cooney started Leinster final, was poor, came on, done well. So just again, the 6 forward will have to be consistent against Limerick, because if they don't, you can't give Limerick a platform in their halfback or their fullback, because they're too good on the ball itself, you know.
And JJ, if you just, sorry for one second, if you look at the Tipperary game, right? No, I thought as a game it was extremely poor, and I can only pick 2 players. Now, Tipperary to me actually fell into the Galway trap. It suited Galway perfect, and it was off the cuff hurling in from Tipperary. What I mean by that is there was only 2 players, the goalkeeper Shelley and Ronan Maher were the only 2 players that I actually picked out that had the ability on the day to hit any type of a 60-40 ball to the forward. Other than that, it was all kind of just get it out of the way in the air. Like Limerick don't do that and will never do that. Like if Tipper to have any chance, they had to go through the lines at pace. So either way, Limerick will stick to that game plan that Tipperary didn't implement last week. But so it's a mouth-watering clash, yeah. And I agree with you. All the forwards in Galway have improved a ton. And I suppose another talking point presently here in Limerick, Declan Hannon is out. So the big talking point is who is going to get 6? Who is going to go in there and take authority and take command, similar to what Declan Hannon did. So that's another talking point for Limerick as well.
Yeah, there's talks of a few different lads having played, a few forwards potentially having played centre-back in recent practice games. So it'll be interesting to see whether that's the case or whether it's just Colin Coughlin coming in wing-back and maybe Dan Morrissey going centre-back. That will definitely be very, very interesting to see.